There was a Nintendo Direct, and I have thoughts and opinions, and they're mostly good ones. It was a really good Direct. Anyway, let's go through it in chronological order, shall we? I will, of course, be skipping over things that don't personally matter to me, because who wants to listen to, oh, hey, they're doing this, that's cool for those people, over and over again. Although, to be fair, in this Direct, there was a lot that did apply to me, so don't worry. First of all, one quick little tidbit. They're putting No Man's Sky on Switch, and that seems like a no-brainer. It's cool that they're doing that. I'm probably not going to get it on Switch, because that's going to cost me money, and I already have No Man's Sky in several other places, but I do love the idea of being able to explore the entire universe in handheld mode, in your bed or something, or even on the go, although I've never been the kind of person who takes my Switch on the go, because I would be paranoid about losing it, or getting it stolen, or breaking it, so I'm that kind of person. If that tells you everything you need to know about me, then I don't blame you. I'm either anxious or poor, take your pick. Spoiler alert, both. I was very surprised, and pleasantly so, to see that they're bringing Mario Strikers back. I actually did play a little bit of Mario Strikers Charged Football back on the Wii. I think that's what it was called on the Wii. I didn't play a whole lot of it, but I did play a bit of it, and I liked what I played. But from what I've heard, the stuff surrounding this game, and who knows how much of it is true or how much of it's conjecture, but it seems like Nintendo weren't happy with how their IP characters were portrayed. It seemed a bit too aggressive, a bit too over the top, so I don't think anyone really expected Mario Strikers to be making a return, but the second it showed up on screen I was like, I mean, of course, like, Mario Strikers in an online age, that makes so much sense, and I'm kind of watching the gameplay and I'm like, you know, it kind of feels like someone at Nintendo was watching Rocket League and Rocket League's success and going, why are we sitting on the Mario Strikers IP? This is obvious, we could be doing this. And obviously it's not exactly the same style of gameplay, but kind of an arcade football kind of a game. It feels like there's not a huge amount of those out there. Obviously it's not physics based like Rocket League is, but still, it's arcade football, so unfortunately this is likely one of those games that's going to fall into that category for me of like, this game looks really cool, I'd probably have a lot of fun playing it, but I can't really justify spending £50 on it, so I'm probably not going to end up getting it. There's several games on the Switch like that for me, like other Mario sports games, Mario Tennis and Mario Golf, they both look fun, but I'm not really going to spend £50 on them. This is unfortunately going to go the way of those. By the way, do we have every Mario sports game on the Switch now? I think we do, right? Are there any I'm missing? I think that's all of them. Not that the game is going to be wanting for sports games, as we'll get to in a moment. But yeah, playing Mario Tennis on the N64 emulation made me realise that Mario Tennis is a surprisingly fun game, and I'm sure the modern version of it's probably even better, so I do want Mario Tennis. Mario Golf I'm not so sure about, but definitely do want Mario Tennis, but just like, if it was just like any other game that went down to sale for like 20 quid or something at some point, I'd probably consider picking it up. Same for Mario Strikers, but it never will. It never will. But then again, I think there might be a small change to Nintendo's philosophy regarding that kind of thing. I don't know if it's going to necessarily translate to video game prices, but given the price of the Mario Kart DLC I'm going to be talking about later and its inclusion in the expansion pack, I'm starting to wonder if they aren't looking at other gaming platforms and going, we need to be offering a at least slightly better value, because stubbornly kicking our heels in and demanding £50 for every Nintendo published game isn't working. And obviously, like, it's a DLC I'm talking about with Mario Kart, but I don't know, it kind of feels like I'm not used to looking at a Nintendo trailer and going, wow, that's good value. So who knows what opinions might be shifting over there at Nintendo. But anyway, that's some stuff about Mario Kart DLC, which I'll be getting to later in more detail. I guess you could also argue that the way they're handling old game emulation as NES, SNES, and N64 Online is also a part of that philosophical change. I said philosophical weirdly, don't at me. But I guess I just didn't recognise it at the time, but looking back on it, yeah, they could be charging for those games individually on the store, and instead they're not. There's still a lot of issues with the way they're handling that, but that's a positive about the NES library and the SNES and the N64 and all of that. I'm running out of breath. Anyway, Mario Strikers. Good looking game. Excited that it exists. I'm going to skip Splatoon because I'm afraid I cannot get into Splatoon. I've tried. I spent £50 on Splatoon 2 and regretted it dearly. Game looks charming, world looks charming. I just don't find the gameplay engaging at all. Here's one I am going to bring up. Disney Speedstorm. I'm not like, oh wow, they made a Disney kart racing game. I'm actually a little bit cynical about it. I think this is a way for them to milk their IPs a little bit more. I don't think this game looks particularly inspired. And am I actually recording? Okay, sorry, Vegas nearly crashed. And I mean, don't get me wrong, I only watched the trailer once. I didn't pay a huge amount of attention to it, so I could be wrong there, but the carts look a little bit basic and stuff like that. I haven't seen anything that's made it stand out to me. And again, I'm not a huge fan in particular of Disney and Pixar IPs. Maybe Pixar IPs, but not Disney IPs specifically. But this game is free to play, so I will at least be checking it out. I kind of wish they would lean in, if they're going to be milking their IPs like I just accused them of, I wish they would lean into more of their IPs as, like, you know, mega Disney, and have Marvel and Star Wars stuff in there. That would get me interested, because if anyone knows me, they will know that I'm the kind of person who wants a kart racing game of everything, but it's got to be a good kart racing game. For instance, like, in theory I would like the Nickelodeon kart racing games. Have not touched them because I've heard a lot of criticisms about them, and I don't want to just play a kart racing game and go, oh, this could have been so much more. But yeah, Disney kart racing game, sure, if it's free to play, I'll give it a try. Just wake me up when someone makes Blizzard Kart, okay? Then we're talking. I think the developers at Blizzard would actually do a kart racing game right, so, yeah. Heroes of the Kart, make it happen. Obviously would not be in a Nintendo Direct though, would it? Let's get back on topic. Just a small note that the Ezio Auditore collection of Assassin's Creed games is popping up on Switch. If that thing ends up running well, obviously I'm not going to buy it, because again, I already own that game in multiple places. But, well, I don't own the Ezio collection in multiple places. I only own that once, but I own the individual games on PC and PS3, and then I own the Ezio collection on PS4. That's not important. So I won't be getting it on Switch, but I'm just happy that it's making its way there, because people who haven't played it might get a chance to play it, and it might be cozy to play it on the go, so on and so forth. Also, side note, whenever I hear the music that they use in the trailer, I'm always like, oh, it's you. I will also mention I'm curious that they're remaking Chrono Cross, which I think is a sequel to Chrono Trigger. So that's cool. I kind of thought it was just another Chrono based name, and people were going to be mad that it wasn't Chrono Trigger, but yeah, I don't know, that's happening. For the last year or so, I've kind of gained an interest in Final Fantasy as a series throughout my playthrough of Final Fantasy XIV, and I've been going out of my way to try the different Final Fantasy games, but in the last month or so, or maybe not like as strictly as that, but in the last little while, I've kind of been trying to expand that idea to be like, it doesn't have to be a Final Fantasy IP game. I'm starting to realise I have a love of Japanese RPGs. Obviously, Final Fantasy XIV is not strictly a JRPG in terms of gameplay, but in terms of storytelling, it absolutely is. And so I've been trying to kind of expand my scope and look towards other JRPGs and consider playing those. And yeah, I'm currently in the middle of playing through Xenoblade Chronicles Definitive Edition on Switch, or I should say I've just started back up through my playthrough of that, and it's like making me realise, oh, I shouldn't have just been like, oh, I should go try the other Final Fantasy games. It's more like I should try JRPGs in general, because I realise I quite love them actually, as long as the gameplay is done right for me. How does that relate to Chrono Cross? I'm not entirely sure anymore, but here we are. No, I know Chrono Trigger is kind of like Final Fantasy adjacent, and then Chrono Cross is apparently a sequel of that, so who knows, maybe one day I'll play this version of Chrono Cross. Should probably play Chrono Trigger first though. And then what did we get after that? We got Vor. We got Kirby. You wouldn't eat a car. Dun, 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 dun. I'm surprised I have not seen that joke on the internet yet, but I'm sure it exists. This trailer, this slightly disturbing trailer for Kirby and the Forgotten Land, really does feel like the Kirby devs played through Mario Odyssey and went, hang on, we're supposed to be doing this. A 3D platformer where you can take on the properties of other creatures and objects out in the world. That's Kirby. Why is Mario doing it? All right, we gotta make a fucking Kirby game and show these guys how it's done. And just for background as well, I've never played a Kirby game. I love Kirby as a character. He's a small, round, pink boy. He's very pure. Well, I'm not sure if I can call him pure after what I've seen today, but he's full of Puyo power, and I play him in Smash. That's the only time I've ever played him. And I want to play a Kirby game I like. To be fair, that I did pick up a couple of 2D Kirby games on the 3DS, some retro ones, and I didn't really get into them at all. I played them a little bit, but it didn't really grab me. It just felt like quite a basic platformer. But this looks like my first proper Kirby game experience. I'm excited for this game to come out. Is it in March? Ah, shit, I'm gonna have to buy a game in March. Maybe, I don't know. I always tend to love the idea of a 3D platformer, but I don't always finish them, so I don't know. Maybe I'll get it another time, who knows. But that boy ate an entire car, and the internet is, I think, still recovering. And yes, I was giggling gleefully when he started shooting things out from his vending machine mouth too. Speaking of 3D platformers, Klonoa! I've never played Klonoa. I don't know anything about Klonoa other than John Cartwright of Good Vibes Gaming is very into Klonoa and wants it to come back, and I've heard a lot about it from that guy, and honestly, yeah, this looks like a good 3D retro platformer that I would probably enjoy playing, so maybe I will. It's probably not going to be on the Switch where I get it, because it has also been announced for Xbox, and I would like to get some achievements in my 3D platformers, so I'll probably play it there. But I probably will play it if it's cheap enough. I think it's a testament to how much I've heard about this game, but I've never played it, know nothing about it from myself, but when it came up on screen, like, instantly I was like, is this Klonoa? Also Portal. Portal is on the Switch for some reason. Give it gyro controls and some people will be happy. Other than that, it's just a port, I guess, of a good couple of games. On Switch, sure. Not going to get them, already got them. I was just quite surprised to see it there, because it's a very traditionally PC game, even though they did both come out on consoles, I think. But, you know, I think Portal 2 came out on console as part of the Orange Box, which is like, I know Valve, yeah, what I'm saying is I know Valve are no stranger to porting their games to console. It's just been like over a decade since it's ever happened, but then I guess it's been pretty much that since they actually made a fucking game, so other than that VR Half-Life, which I think people really enjoyed, so I don't know. Oh, and a card game. Remember the card game that so few people were playing, but it got used as a substitute for porn in the Twitch categories? That one. Now here's one that came out of nowhere for me, and I'm going to butcher the pronunciation of a name, so I'm just going to read it as it's written. Live Alive. This is a JRPG which, from what I understand, is simply notorious for never making it over to the US. I don't know if it came over to the UK. All I know is that. But just from the premise alone, if you had told me this was a completely brand new JRPG, I would believe you, because it's got the 2D 3D art style, it looks really nice and polished and snazzy, and I love the premise. I adore the premise. It's Octopath Traveler, but instead of 8 different storylines taking place in different locations across the realm, it's, I want to say, like 5 or 6 different storylines taking place across different times. So you've got different, like, eras to play through. Like, you've got like Edo Japan, you've got like Cowboy America, you've got you know, like the near future and the far future, which I find interesting. You've got like the barbarian times, and honestly, I haven't looked at the price of this game yet, but I'm probably going to get this. Talking earlier about how I want to play more JRPGs, which appeal to me, I might need to see a little bit more about the gameplay first, just to check that it's for me, but something about this concept just really appeals to me, and I think this is the first time that a old game, because I think this used to be a SNES game from what I've heard, has really been like, I don't know, like instead of me going, oh charming, it's an older game, I should go and check it out because it's famous and I've heard a lot about it. This is the reverse of that. I've never heard of this game before, but it just looks like a really good modern game even though it's really old. I'm gonna go check the price now. I'm sure it's up for pre-purchase. Let's have a look. Oh man, it's £40. Why is it £40? That's a lot of money. Okay, maybe I won't be playing it anytime soon, but it's going on my wish list, goddammit. I mean, it's not coming out until July, so I don't know what else is coming out around July. Maybe I'll just buy it. It'll be a bit of a gamble for me though, because JRPGs, I mean, there's the odd couple that I'll sit with for 100 hours, and then most of them I just bounce off of after 5. Still, love the idea of that game. That reminds me, actually, talking about this direct, I wasn't just going to talk about what did get announced, I was going to talk about stuff on my wishlist that didn't get announced, namely anything Dragon Quest. I was hoping to get a little bit of an update about Dragon Quest, specifically Dragon Quest X, because I've heard that if there's any chance that it's going to come to the West, it would be probably Nintendo publishing it, so it'd probably be announced here. And we've got nothing, so oh well. Please localize Dragon Quest X for the love of God. Wii Sports 2 BB! The fun thing about Nintendo Directs is that a lot of the time they'll announce stuff that they've obviously been working on for like a year or two at least. So obviously to them it's normal, but to us we're like, wait, what? And this is absolutely one of those. Again, this is probably going to be a £50 game, so I'm probably not going to get it, but I love it. I love that they've made a sequel to Wii Sports, because obviously, just like everyone, I had a lot of fun playing Wii Sports back in the day. I think the fact that there's going to be online matchmaking for stuff like bowling and, well, all of it really, is going to give this game a much longer life than its predecessor. Its predecessor obviously was a lot of fun to play with your family and everything. In fact, you know what I just realised? I bet this game exists because of lockdown. Because if you think about the development cycle of a game like this, I'd imagine it's about 2 years. Around 2 years ago, we were first starting to get into COVID and lockdown and stuff, and so they probably thought, like, people can't come together and play Wii Sports with their family anymore. Not that they would, because the Wii's an older console, but games like it with their family anymore, so they want to make a sequel which has online support. That's my pet theory as to why this game exists. But honestly, I think the online matchmaking against random people is going to give this game a life of its own, and I think that's wonderful. I do like how strongly they emphasised using the wrist strap, given the previous problems with Wii Sports of people just chucking their remotes at their TVs and smashing them, and then Nintendo getting sued quite a lot of money. Skip a few. Now we're at Earthbound. Earthbound got announced, and it broke Twitter because of course it did. Earthbound and Earthbound Beginnings, which I'm assuming are Mother 2 and Mother 1, respectively. I've never played Earthbound. I personally, every time I see footage of this game, I'm like, I don't understand why people go crazy about this game, but apparently they do. So I'm probably going to try it at some point, probably not right away, because I am just getting back into Xenoblade Chronicles and I don't want to have too many RPGs on the go at once. But I've looked it up, and people are recommending that you start with Earthbound, because even though it's a sequel to Earthbound Beginnings, it's more refined. It's kind of a remake, apparently. It's like a spiritual remake in a way, despite also being kind of a sequel. Again, I'm coming at this from the outside, I have no idea about all of this, but people are saying, like, if you try Earthbound Beginnings, you're probably going to bounce off of it because how old the gameplay is, but apparently the gameplay in Earthbound stands up. So at some point I'm going to try Earthbound and see what all the fuss is about, and I apologise in advance for when I bounce off of it. Now, that was all amazing stuff, but let's talk about the meat and potatoes of this direct, because this was... Okay, so this was the meat, Xenoblade was the potatoes. I'll talk about Xenoblade in a minute. Sorry for calling Xenoblade potatoes. But for a long time now, I, alongside many other Mario Kart fans, have been asking for a new Mario Kart. The dream, of course, is... I mean, there's kind of two separate dreams. I've talked about this on Twitter before. Dream A is Nintendo Kart, so it's not just Mario IP anymore. It's basically Smash Bros, but for Mario Kart in terms of the IP that's on offer. So we get tracks from across a range of stuff. We've already seen the beginnings of this with a DLC that's previously been in Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, with Animal Crossing and F-Zero and stuff like that. But it'd be nice to see it properly broadened out to an entire game. And I still think, in fact, I think it's more likely that that's going to happen now with Mario Kart 9 whenever that does happen in the future, probably on the next console. But the other option for like a dream-like Mario Kart was Everyone Is Here, that part of Smash Bros, where they have like every track of the previous games. So you will no doubt understand that my reaction to this DLC news was exhilaration. They haven't specifically said every course from a previous Mario Kart game is making it in, but I haven't counted, but I feel like 48 tracks covers most of them, although you gotta also take into account that Mario Kart Tour is a thing. So yeah, to recount really quickly, they announced 48 new tracks over the course of the next year and a half, up until the end of 2023. They're going to be releasing in batches, which is double the amount of tracks that the game already has in its current deluxe inclusion of DLC state. So that's incredible, and it's $25 for the entire thing, or, and this made me fist pump the air, included in the Nintendo Switch Online expansion pack, which I already have. So yeah, I think that thing is just going to get better as it goes along. This goes back to me talking about the business practices that I think, the change in philosophy stuff I was talking about earlier. I think they are just going to start adding stuff to that as it goes along. It's just going to get better. And they haven't said anything about the possibility of DLC leaving the service at any point, so I think this is permanent. So basically for me, at no extra cost, I get 48 brand new Mario Kart tracks, and I like that they're releasing them in batches as well, because it adds to the excitement. What are they going to do next? Are they going to do DS Bowser's Castle? Are they going to do another one that I like? Let me just, for the sake of letting you know how many tracks I know of, how many retro Mario Kart tracks I know of, tell you which Mario Kart games I've played through. So I've played through Super Mario Kart, I've played through Mario Kart 64, I have not played through Mario Kart Super Circuit, I have not played through Mario Kart Double Dash, although I did play it once at school. I've played through the entirety of Mario Kart DS multiple times. I played through the entirety of Mario Kart Wii multiple times. I've played through Mario Kart 7, but only the once. I don't have a huge amount of memories associated with it. And as for Mario Kart Tour, I have dabbled. I do like it from like a system side of things, like how they introduce new tracks and new races and outfits and events and stuff. I think that's something they need to do for Mario Kart 9. But I do not like the way that game plays. I've tried it multiple times. I think if they added controller support it might go a long way, but I still think that just the way the basic racing is handled in that game, it would still feel weird and slow and just mobile. But yeah, basically what I'm getting at here is that I should recognise most of the courses on offer. And if not, you know, nothing wrong with new courses that I've never seen before either, is there? I think that's what the Mario Kart Tour courses are there for. They're like, look, we have been designing new Mario tracks, but we know that people who play Mario Kart 8 probably don't like playing Mario Kart Tour, so we should probably put some of them in this game too. So I'm excited to see, because I have heard good things, I'm excited to see some of Mario Kart Tour's best tracks. But yeah, when they started announcing this, they were like, oh, we've got news for Mario Kart fans. I was like, I'm listening. And they were like, so we've decided to do some new DLC for Mario Kart 8 in terms of older tracks coming to the game. My heart sank. I was like, oh, this is going to be like 4 tracks or 8 tracks for like 50 quid, and I'm not going to bother with it. And it just means that there's no Mario Kart 9 coming, and I was really glum for a moment. And then they showed that graphic of all of the like empty tracks that are waiting to be filled in, and I went, wait, what? I was walking home at the time, I was watching it on my phone, and I was like wide-eyed, and then when they said it was coming to Nintendo Switch Online expansion pack, I literally shouted yes and pumped the air, and I was like, oh, hang on a minute. It's quite late at night right now. So that's how strongly I feel about this news. I will be cheering for every DS track that makes its way over to Mario Kart 8, because the DS game is my favourite. I also really enjoyed the Wii game, especially for its online capabilities, but I had so much fun with Mario Kart DS. This announcement makes me want to go back and play Mario Kart DS, but the only thing that's really holding me back is I wouldn't really be able to make any content out of it, and I like to make content out of my gameplay these days. I could try and emulate it, but I don't really want to. But yeah, this is, as I said to Reese, this is some like wish fulfillment, dreamlike level shit. This is phenomenal news, and I'm so excited to start playing the new tracks. I'm very happy. This direct, chef's kiss. And then to top it all off, here come the potatoes, Xenoblade Chronicles 3, which I'm actually excited about, but I mean, I'm like 8 hours into Xenoblade Chronicles 1 at the minute, so I'm just excited that there's going to be more Xenoblade Chronicles, because I do like this world, I am enjoying it, I'm probably going to play through it no matter how long it takes me, in spurts or in one long big sitting, as in like over the course of weeks, not in literally one sitting. And yeah, like I said, I love everything that universe does, so, and I'm not normally into like sci-fi like mechanical level stuff, but something about Xenoblade hits it just right, mixes it with fantasy in just the right way. However, this trailer should absolutely be mocked for that one line, which was on the level of I'm gonna kill chaos. It was, if I remember right, it was Swordland, the land pierced by great sword. I kind of lost it. Like, you don't say. That's what you called it. That's what you called it. You called it Swordland, and it's the land pierced by great. Okay, sure. That's that's serviceable. That is a noun. So that was my reaction to the Nintendo Direct for the 9th of February 2022. It was a bloody good one, and I'm very excited about lots of different things. Let me know what you were excited about if you've made it this far through the video. Thank you for listening, and I will see you in the next one. I have a Thoughts on Dragon Ball coming out soon. It's already been recorded. It's only like 8 minutes long, but that's going to be another Thoughts on video coming out soon, because I know there haven't been a lot of them lately. So yeah.